All right, here is just a quick video intro for the Making Models lab. You have this in your notebook, and you're going to be doing this lab in the lab room. I'm just showing you really quickly a few of the tips and tricks to be able to be successful with this lab. So you're going to use the models kit, and when you see the models kit, it's going to look like that. And it's important to note that each of these colors represents a different element, and those different colors and that element list will be on the lid of your models kit when you get to the lab room. So for example, it's important to also note that each of the different colors, so for example this represents carbon, right? Each of the different colors have different openings, different numbers of openings. Let's see, red is oxygen, so carbon has 4, oxygen, for example, only has 2, and so they will need different number of electrons to be able to make that full octet. Octet means 8, and so remember, atoms are always wanting to get to 8 electrons, and so we're going to show you how that happens using this models kit. So when we're talking about this, it is important to note that one of these sticks or springs represents a pair of electrons. And so what I want to do is show you how to make the model for water and for hydrochloric acid, and then you guys are going to practice on your own. So on your lab sheet, you will fill in the formula for water, and then you're gonna draw in the ball and stick model, especially on this first page. You know how to do the number of elements and the number of atoms. And then also you're going to think about for the bond type, right? Do you have a metal and a nonmetal? So is it ionic, or do you have 2 nonmetals? Is it covalent? So on this, you can probably fill this in really without making the models to start with, and then always go back and look at the models. So water, we know, is H2O. And so what we want to do, right, you're going to write that in there, and what we want to do is we want to find our different colors. So here, right, I want hydrogen, so I want 2 yellows, and I want 1 red, okay? So I'm going to pick up 2 yellows, and then 1 red, okay? And I'm going to just kind of figure out how does this work, right? So notice your hydrogen only has 1 opening, because hydrogen is in the first row, and it's only ever going to have 2 total electrons. And so hydrogen can only share or have 1 bond. So you know that your hydrogen is only ever gonna look like that, right? So there's our 2 hydrogens, and then we're gonna look at the oxygens, and lo and behold, the oxygen has 2 openings, and so we're going to form that bond here with the oxygen and actually create the water molecule. Now, notice how that water molecule is shaped, right? So that water molecule is not straight. And a lot of times where people mess up with talking about the models lab and looking at how to draw this is that they're going to want to draw water like this. So a lot of times people want to draw water like this, and that is not how water is actually oriented. Water actually is what we call bent. So really try to focus on, when you're doing the models lab, try to focus on the fact that it looks like that. Now, you can include your molecules if you want, or you can just draw the circles. That's totally up to you. So there's how we would draw water. So now let's look at the example for hydrochloric acid. So we have our equation here. So we need 1 hydrogen, and a reminder that hydrogen is yellow. And then we need 1 chlorine, which is green. All right, so I'm gonna just use my yellow leftovers from my water. So I've got my 1 hydrogen and then my 1 chlorine here. And notice chlorine only has 1 opening and hydrogen only has 1 opening. And so this, in fact, is hydrochloric acid, or HCl. And so on this one, what you can do, right, is just show, hey, this does actually look exactly like that. So really try to get that rendering of what your model looks like and what you're drawing right there. Okay, so you're gonna work through this front part, and then what it says is once you're done with your basic molecule page, right, you're gonna create all of them, and then you're going to draw them all. Once you finish that one, check this off, and that's where we're gonna get it signed, okay? Then, at this station, you've got a little bit more challenging ball and stick models. And so I want you to try to build these to the best of your abilities. And once you do that, you're gonna get it signed off. On the level 3 questions, if you don't want to, you do not have to draw those. You're welcome to try. I encourage you to try to build them, but they're a little bit challenging to draw. So you don't have to draw those models on that level 3 one, okay? So there is the walkthrough explanation of how to do the models lab, and good luck, have fun.